Hello Boxer fans, today is my second in the Stimulate Your Mind series, and today we're going to talk about performance enhancing drugs. If you didn't know, you don't have to look far to see videos about people saying this person, that person, the other person, they've got to take a test. You really can't have a good fight now without being accused of being on steroids, and this is going to hopefully teach some people about what steroids are, what to look out for, and why a lot of people are not on them. Basically going to start off now with what a steroid is, and a steroid is a group of compounds derived from testosterone or produced synthetically to stimulate tissue repair and body growth. There are basically two types of steroids. One is an anabolic steroid that's used for bulking, and the other is an anabolic steroid used for cutting. If you don't know, bulking is added weight and cutting is reducing body fat. In sports, all steroids, that includes designer and natural compound steroids, are prohibited and they're tested for regularly. In sports, different sports have different tests. In football or soccer, people are tested randomly via blood 2 or 3 times a year, and they are tested for all steroids or recreational drug. In boxing, boxers are subjected to random piss tests randomly while they're in training for a fight, and the blood test straight after the fight. Each steroid or natural compound has a natural half-life, and that is the amount of time that anything can stay in your system or any system without breaking down and just keep circulating through the system. Once the half-life has passed, it will become undetectable in your blood or urine. A half-life varies per steroid. For example, some steroids have a half-life of only 3 weeks after you've completed your cycle, which probably lasts about 2 months, to some steroids that can last up to 18 months, that's a year and a half, detectable in your blood system. There are of course ways to get around the test. One way that Sugar Shane Mosley would tell you is use a substance called the Clear. The Clear is a performance enhancing drug that masks all of the other performance enhancing drugs and stops them becoming visible in your urine. However, if it's tested for in your blood, you will get caught. Following being caught, Shane Mosley admitted to using another steroid called EPO. This is a designer steroid that allows more red blood cells to be made in your blood system, and it carries the oxygen around to your muscles so much quicker. In other words, basically it increases your stamina. You could also try and time the expiration date of the half-life right next to the time of the blood test, but that would be really awkward to work out, and the chances are you would get caught. So in other words, you'd have to take the steroid for say 2 months and then not have it detected in your piss tests, and then you'd have to have it out your system by just after the fight. Or the more likely way that you could have boxers or any sports person could do it is by taking it well before they get into serious training, and that way they'll keep a percentage of the gains that they got from the steroid after they've stopped using it and after the half-life is gone. And most importantly, before they're getting subjected to testing. So now if you're going to accuse a boxer or any athlete of using a steroid, you've got to pretty much know exactly what he's using before you say it, otherwise you just look stupid now. So let's say, for example, if you've got a boxer who's moving through the weights really fast, the likelihood is he's not using the bulking steroid, for the simple fact that he'll get caught because they've got a 3 to 6 month half-life. The steroid that you could say he was using would be a substance like EPO that would be used for, well, adding stamina to your game. However, you'd also be tested for that, and if it's not been caught yet, he won't get caught in the future. Another could be HGH, or human growth hormone. This could be used to simply grow a wider figure in order so you can add more weight to it. However, this is definitely detectable in your urine, trust me. The more likely is when a boxer comes down in weight, that is what you've got to be really wary about. If a boxer's having trouble making weight, and let's say one time he just about makes weight and then the next time he makes weight really easy, that's something you've got to really look at. For example, me personally, I weigh just under 13 stone and I work out twice a day. Once is a cardio workout, like a jog for an hour, and the other is a weights and bag workout that lasts for an hour and a half, both combined. Now, I also then went and used a steroid called ephedrine, and what that does is it heats up your body so that you burn a lot more calories than you usually do. And I went from 13 stone basically to 11 stone 5. I would say this was a designer steroid, and I increased the amount of weight I was lifting by about 30-40%, and I also lost about, like I said, a stone and a half. However, when I went for a routine diabetes test because of the weight loss, they gave me a blood test and I flagged that I had amphetamines in my system, and they thought I was on hard drugs, which let me clarify I have never taken. Key things to look for in people who you suspect of taking steroids is great gains in weight quickly, or great reductions in weight really quickly, or my personal favourite is, have you ever seen the people who have got huge veins that look like they're popping out of the skin? Look at people like Batista, the wrestler, he has them, John Cena's got them, people like that. That is a direct result of injecting steroids. Also, if you're looking at a boxer, look at how inactive he is. If, let's say, for example, you fight 4 or 5 times a year, you're less likely to be taking a steroid because you'll be getting caught when you when you do piss tests randomly. Or on the flip side, look at a boxer that's very inactive and fights 1 or 2 fights a year. Let's say he goes 3 months for a workout, and then he has to fight, and then he's done for another 2 months. What's he doing in that 2 months? He could be doing nothing, but he could be doing a drug cycle basically. Obviously, I just almost forgot one. If a boxer is like, let's say 28, 29, and all of a sudden he gets acne, don't forget what this does is it makes a testosterone imbalance in your system. It's got to get out the way somehow, and sometimes you get acne on your face and stuff. That's something to look out for. Lastly, this is just a response to anyone who's talking about how a steroid could help you in like a match. Firstly, it couldn't like put muscle on your chin or nothing. What you got to look at there is stuff like what kind of weight are they in. At the smaller weights and the bigger weights, it's like one punch can finish a match out a lot of time. And then if they move up and put on weight, especially on the legs, they're less likely to get knocked out. Also, just this is for Roger Mayweather, there's no such steroid in the world that helps bullets bounce off you. That's reference to Roger Mayweather, who really shouldn't be allowed to talk, really. I don't know what that is, by the way. He said in the Philippines the government give their troops steroids that make bullets bounce off them. And I just want to say, if that was the truth, don't you think that our troops would have them as well? And if you look at the news lately, you can see that that is not the case. Okay, now I need you to comment any questions you have about steroids in the section below, and I'm going to make a follow-up video and I'm going to try and answer every single question about steroids.